Welcome to Data Unscripted, the podcast where we break down complex data concepts into digestible bits. I'm Orwe, and with me, as always, is Daddy. Hey, Daddy.
Hey, what's up, Orwe?
All is good. Today, we're going to dive into the world of data lineage, a very important and interesting concept. Daddy, why don't we start with understanding what data lineage is?
Sure. So, data lineage is one of the biggest buzzwords in the world of data. So let's try to break it down. You can think of data lineage as the family tree of data, right? So it's all about tracking the complete journey of data from its birth, meaning the data source, to where it's actually consumed down the line in form of reports or other decision-making processes.
It's an interesting analogy, like tracing the ancestry of our data.
Yeah, exactly. It shows us where the data came from, how it's changed along the way, and where it ended up. It's that simple.
Okay. That's pretty useful. I can imagine it helps maintain data quality, for example. If something looks off in my final report, I can trace it back to the source and fix it.
Yep, exactly. The most common use case, as you said, is impact analysis. So say, for example, I want to make changes in one of the models in my data pipeline. If I don't have lineage in place, I'm essentially running blind. I could potentially impact other models or even cause your precious report to break, right? So lineage helps me understand how my changes are going to impact everything downstream.
Got it. That definitely can save you a lot of headaches down the line.
Yep. Another example is troubleshooting, right? So this is like the other direction. Say one of your reports looks off, right? You looked at your report and something just doesn't feel right. Having an end-to-end data lineage in place makes it much easier for me to backtrack the issue up to its source.
Okay. This sounds like a must-have for data teams, making sure the data is traced all the way back and you know what's going on. Can you give our listeners a real-world example so they can really understand how this works?
Yeah, sure thing. Okay, so let's take a marketing scenario, right? So imagine you're running a big e-commerce company. So you got customer data flowing in from all over the place, your CRM system, your email marketing platform, your website analytics, social media, and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. Now, all this data gets pulled or ingested into a central data warehouse. Then it goes through cleaning, transformation, removing duplicates, standardizing formats, that kind of thing. With me so far?
Yep, following so far.
Okay, so next, use this clean data to create different data models. Maybe some sort of a customer 360 view that combines demographics with purchase history and engagement metrics, basically an enriched customer model.
Makes sense.
So finally, you connect this model to your BI tool and create marketing dashboards and reports based on this data model. Make sense? Kind of overwhelming, but I think...
Makes sense, yes.
Okay, so this whole flow of data is represented in the form of data lineage. It tracks this whole journey. It shows you, for example, that the email open rate in your final dashboard actually came from your email marketing platform. Or it would demonstrate how the customer lifetime value metric in your executive report is actually calculated using data from multiple sources and several transformation steps.
Got it. So if someone questions a number in the final report, for example, they can trace it back to the source and understand exactly how the calculation or where the data is coming from in the original data.
Yeah, you nailed it, Ori. Yeah. And not just to its source, but through every transformation it went through along the way.
Okay. I can see how that would build and increase trust in the data, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we said when we discussed data validation in the different episode, it's all about trusting your data. And I don't need to tell you that in today's data-driven world, that's more important than ever.
Okay. So we now understand the general concept of data lineage. Can you elaborate a bit on what column level lineage is? It's something that comes up a lot lately.
Yeah. Okay, so up to this point, we've talked about how tables or models are connected to each other. Column level lineage takes it a level deeper by tracking data at its most granular level, which is the individual columns in the database tables. It shows how specific data fields or columns move and transform throughout the system. Okay, let's take an example. Say you're a retail company and you're tracking customer data. Column level lineage might show you that the total spend column in a sales report is actually calculated by summing the price column from the product catalog table and the tax column from the tax calculation table. Okay? So just like more granular.
Got it. So it's even more granular, an even more granular view of how your data evolves.
Yeah, exactly. We've talked about impact analysis before. Here it's even more powerful. If, for example, you want to remove a column in one of your models, a part of your data development work, you can easily understand if there's another model that is depending on it, right? So you can like make your changes with a lot of confidence with that column level lineage.
Got it. I'll know what I might be breaking if I remove a column, and that obviously helps me do my data transformation work. Okay, sounds like a powerful addition to the data tech stack that a data team should have. And
it is.
Honestly, this is all the time we have for today. So thanks for tuning in for another episode of Data Unscripted. And until next time, keep your data flowing and your lineage showing.